What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, welcome to this week's edition of Tuesdays with Turbo, even though it's Thursday. We might have to change the name of the segment here from Tuesdays with Turbo to Thursdays with Turbo, but we'll address that in the future. But I am trying out a new mic today, so hopefully it sounds better. Let me know what you guys and gals think, but that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is home maintenance, and we've done spring home maintenance, we've done winter home maintenance. Why not do a summer home maintenance? You might not think there's a lot of things to kind of get ready for, and I know we're most we're halfway through the summer, and I by all means do not want to wish the summer away, but there might be some things on this list that you might not have thought of, and you're like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. So that's why we're doing this video today. And for those of you that do not know, my name is Ryan Turbo Jackson, and I am your insurance resource. And I like to do videos like this, giving tips and tricks on how to minimize risk, or just to kind of keep your house as well maintained, beautiful, the way it should be. And there will be videos where I break down insurance language, give tips and tricks as far as commercial insurance is concerned. But today we're going to be focusing on, like I said, home maintenance tips. Avoid a claim this summer. And yes, that is poor Mary falling off the roof. So we definitely don't need that anytime soon. But I have them broken down into categories. We have exterior maintenance, yard and landscaping, fire and grill safety, mechanical systems, and odds and ends. So let's get into the exterior maintenance portion of this. When I'm referring to exterior maintenance, we want to take a look at clean our gutters and downspouts. This prevents water damage, mold, and foundation issues. We don't want to be that, have it go, bypass the gutters because it is clogged. Next thing you know, your basement's leaking. We don't need that. Inspect your roof. Seems to be a common theme, whether it's spring, fall, or summer. We always want to take a peek at our roof to make sure there aren't any cupping, cracking, missing shingles or flashing, or if there's moss on the roof, that's something we want to take care of as well. Power wash the siding and deck. This removes grime and helps spot hidden issues like rot or insect damage, and just makes everything look a whole lot better. And especially when we're talking about power washing your deck, you could be removing some of that grit and grime that's become slimy, especially like a morning like today when it had rained and it's wet. So we want to minimize that risk as much as we can. And while we're at it, just touch up some paint. This keeps moisture out and protects against weathering. Your house is your second biggest asset aside from you. So a little touch up of paint here and there never hurts anything. Check the grading around your foundation. This kind of goes hand in hand with those clean gutters. If the grading around your foundation is going back towards the house, you're going to get water in that basement or crawl space. So whether it's with mulch or get in some more dirt and slope that away from the house, to have the grading go away from the house, that's where the water is going to go. Like I said, we want to keep those basements and crawl spaces as watertight as possible. Seal driveways and walkways. This is especially a great time because unfortunately, to do stuff like this, you kind of want it hot. So everything can cure. This reduces trip hazards and keeps water from getting in there. And lastly, on the home maintenance, inspect and maintain fences, especially wood. Loose boards become a liability. If you do need to take some of that paint to it or stain, this would be a good time to do that as well. So that's the exterior portion of this. If there's anything that I've missed, or guys and gals have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments as well. Let's jump into the yard and landscaping. This is my favorite because I thoroughly enjoy mowing the yard. And when you talk about yard and landscaping, that's what most people think of is taking care of their lawn. But there is a couple other things here that we do want to make sure that we are keeping in mind. Well, trim trees and shrubs. We want to keep limbs away from roof, power lines, and siding. And again, if you're mowing, make sure that you're kind of trimming them up so you're not getting hit in the face all the time. I always have a tree a pruner on the mower with me so I can take care of those as I go. So I tend to be kind of lazy. So instead of walking back after mowing, I can take care of it while I'm mowing. Clear out vegetation. Fire has this is a fire hazard. It is a pest attraction, and it just looks icky. It just looks icky. And then when this if this dead vegetation is left there, when the leaves fall, it catches the leaves and it creates more and more of an eyesore and a problem. So let's just take care of them right now. And if you do happen to have a sprinkler system, go ahead and get that checked. I'm pretty sure if you have one, you have been running it already. But if not, make sure you're taking the proper steps to get all that up and running for the season. The next one here is fire and grill safety. This is something that I really didn't even take into consideration when I was putting this video together. And I thought, well, if I don't think about it, there's probably a lot of other people that don't think about it either. First and foremost, clean that grill. Whether it's, your Weber, a gas grill, a Blackstone, smoker, whatever it is, always before the season, get it clean, get it started, start with a fresh base there. And this is something we want to keep up on so we can avoid grease fires, from those traps and everything like that. So make sure you're, because hand up, I've done it. I've lit a gas grill on fire because I honestly did not check the grease trap. So it's real. It's real. Grease fires are real. Make sure you're scrubbing the burners and the trays too. Make sure we're getting that in tip-top shape because stuff tastes better when it comes off a clean grill. Trust me. You want to make sure that you're moving combustibles away from the grill and house, mulch, stacked wood, etc. Pretty much, if it can light on fire, make sure it's away from that grill and the house. And when you have fire pits, make sure you're inspecting them. You're looking for cracks, stability, and safe clearances. And if there are some cracked stones or anything around there, go ahead and get those replaced. Again, aesthetically, it's going to look better. And it's just going to make the whole bonfire experience better because you're not just going to be sitting there staring at this cracked stone going, all right, darn, I better take care of that. I better take care of that. So we've talked about the exterior. We've talked about the yard and landscape. And we talked about the grills, the smokers, the fire pits, all of that. Now, what about the stuff that keeps us cool? What about the stuff that the mechanical systems in and around our house? Let's make sure we're checking having the AC unit service. This is something that if you do have an AC unit, you can schedule an annual cleaning just to make sure everything's in tip-top shape. Most of the time, the place that will install the unit for you will provide this service at a very low cost, and they'll also make sure to kind of give it a tune-up and stuff like that, so to help prevent any bigger issues down the way. But make sure the filters are clean, check the lines, and schedule a tune-up. If the lines are damaged, you could result in a big puddle in your basement, and we don't need that. We don't need that. While you're at it, check the smoke detectors and all the detectors in your house. Swap batteries, test functionality, quick and easy. This is the one that I hate the most in the summer because it is hotter than Hades up there, but inspect your attic and insulation if you have one. Watch for moisture, pests, or signs of heat buildup. Again, ours gets pretty hot. And while you're at it, go ahead and test that sump pump to make sure that it is removing the water properly so there isn't an overflow, so we avoid that kind of nastiness when heavy rains take over. And lastly, we're gonna talk about some odds and ends, some things you might not have thought of, but is definitely important and should be put on your list. Check windows and doors for leaks. It not only keeps the heat out, but when we go towards when we got to kick on that furnace, it's going to keep the heat in as well. So let's let's do this now to help. It's probably a lot easier, which it is, to caulk, replace weather stripping now as compared to when it's cold. So now is the perfect time to be doing that. Secure loose railings, steps, and boards. It's a total liability trap, and again, it's going to make things look better. It's going to make things look better. If you need to bring some of that paint back to make sure that we have those railings, steps, and boards as pretty as possible, go ahead and do that too. If you have a pool, which I have a feeling most of us that do have already done this, but if you haven't, um, make sure that the fencing, gates, electrical, and clarity are all tip top, all tip top. And finally, the most important one, check your home policy. Do you have summer toys like trampolines, pools, or boats that may need to be may need to have coverage updated, or toys such as ATVs, motorcycles, RVs, things that need to be taken out of storage so that we can so that that coverage is where it needs to be. These are conversations you need to have with your agent. So check your home insurance, and while you're at it, double check the um, just to kind of get an idea of what your dwelling coverage is, what your deductible is, just in case there is something that happens. Because as we've seen, Southwest Lower Michigan here has turned into Tornado Alley, but knock on wood, everything has been calm here lately. So let's hope it keeps that way. But just be proactive. Let know exactly what your coverages are, and so that if something does happen down the road, you know exactly what to expect, and what your deductible is. So those are all really, really, really important things to uh, take account for. All right. Well, that is it for our checklist here. I know it kind of seems to be a lot, but if you would like me to take a look at your home policy to see if there's any gaps in coverage, or to see if we can't get you a better rate, go ahead and comment on this video. Shoot me a Facebook message. Here is the office number here at the office and my direct email. So feel free to reach out to me however you like. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our summer home maintenance checklist. We will be having another one coming this fall, and that's the joys of home ownership. I mean, it goes a long way in saying that a lot of these things, it's almost pride in ownership. The making sure making sure the roof is still in good shape. Is there anything that needs to be painted? Are there windows that need to be replaced? The debris and just nasty vegetation. You're making sure you're keeping your yard cut and the trees trimmed. To me, that's more. I take pride in things like that. I enjoy doing that. So to me, that's not really putting something on a checklist. It's just things that make me happy. But on the other hand, there's things here that I really don't like to do. So having a checklist is always a good thing. Is always a good thing. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have any questions, please feel free to hit me up, or you could comment on the video. I gave you my contact information. I'm always here to help. And as always, everyone have a great week, and I will see you next time.